Hey everyone, this is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and I promised you guys a video a day for the month of October, and with 30 days of sketches only being 30 days, and October having 31, I thought that I would give you guys a video of me putting away these layouts. So I do want to wish you guys a happy Halloween. I made sure that I wore one of my Halloween shirts while I was putting these layouts away. This is one of my favorite ones. It says, "I got your back," and it has a skeleton who's holding the backbone, which I think is hilarious. So the first thing that I always do when I start putting layouts away is separate them by years. While I do not scrapbook chronologically, I do store my layouts chronologically. You can see over in the corner, I have all of my albums. Well, some of my albums, because they all won't fit in that IKEA cube that's underneath my TV. So I'm separating my layouts simply by year. And once I get them all separated by year, I will go back through them and separate out my Disney layouts as well. I just don't have enough space on my dining room table to do two separate piles. And a majority of the layouts that I completed this month were layouts that were within the last maybe 6 years. And when I was looking through my albums, I was definitely lacking some of the newer layouts as opposed to some of my older ones. I did take a break from the Dark Side Challenge in the month of September and October simply because this was an overwhelming project. 30 days of layouts was pretty intense, and my plan was that I wanted to have all of the layouts and videos edited prior to the month of September ending. That did not happen. I did get all of the layouts completed before the month of September. I got a majority of the videos edited, voiceovered, and uploaded prior to the month of October starting. I would say like the first 10 days. And then I started working towards getting the rest of them completed. And then if you are in my Facebook group, you know that we had a very emotional time in the month of October when Hurricane Milton literally came through the center of the state and devastated my area. If you are not in my Facebook group and you want to see the lives that I did during that time, I did get a little bit of emotional, a lot more emotional than I thought I was going to, but that really set me back in regards to getting videos uploaded. While we did not sustain major damage from the hurricane, I did have a friend that was displaced from the Tampa area, so she was with us for 5 days with her 3 children, and so that is just a lot to take on with having additional people in your house and making sure everyone is safe during that time. So I want to thank everyone who was over my Facebook group, as well as people who commented on my videos, asking us if we were safe during that time. I really appreciate everyone who was thinking about us and praying for us, or whatever you were doing during that time. We really appreciate it. During the entire month of October, we had dogs, which I think I've mentioned this before. We are dog sitters. Robbie is one of our regulars. His mom was in Mexico for the time. He was with us for about 11 days. Prior to Robbie, we had Zuna. We actually had her during the hurricane, and her family was on a cruise during that time. So I'm sure that they were also dealing with the stress of a hurricane as well as worrying about their dog. But you can see Robbie running around in the background here. He definitely could not figure out what I was doing and was stressed about the fact that I was just basically standing at the table, according to him. So at this point in the video, I am currently looking at a school layout and then also trying to put a school layout in the album. So I was very frustrated with myself trying to figure out why there was a school layout that was in my albums that weren't supposed to be there. But the date on the photo said it was for the year 2023, which I think is the album I'm working in. So it took me a second to realize that it was in the right album, being that it should be in 2023, but it was in the wrong album, as in it should be in the beginning album, album number 1, instead of album number 2, because it was his end of school photos, and the photos that I was putting in were his back to school photos. So I got all that situated, moved the layout to the correct album, and then was able to finish putting that album out. And then I started working on 2024. I'm super excited that I have several layouts from 2024, specifically the ones that I created in the month of October. I think there were like maybe 3 or 4 layouts. At this point, I knew that I had put the date on the solar eclipse layout, but it was not there. Had to ask Alexa what the date was, and then I ran and got my date stamp to add the date to it. So I was able to get that layout done and add it to the album. However, going through all of these and putting them away made me realize how many layouts I did not have dates on, which that just drives me crazy because I was really good about making sure that all of them had journaling. I thought I had dates on all of them, but it just wasn't the case. So I did break out my second 2024 album. I had already opened one during the last time that I put layouts away. I think I only had one layout and it was from the beginning of the year. So these layouts were after July, which would make them in my second album for the year. Now I am starting my pile of Disney layouts. So the 2 piles that are on the far right hand side, the one that's closest to me is my Disney layouts. The one right above it is layouts that do not have dates, which you can see that's a pretty large stack of layouts that do not have dates. And then I'm working backwards. That way I can start to stack my Disney layouts from newest being on the bottom to oldest being on the top. So it will make it pretty easy to put it in my Disney album once I get to that point. There are a couple of albums that I have figured out that I'm going to need to break up into 3 albums. I did 3 albums in 2017, I think. And then I went back to 2 albums because that's really where I kind of stood. Now that I've gotten back into scrapbooking and I've really gone hard into scrapbooking, it still amazes me that it's been a full 10 months of creating layouts and really being back into scrapbooking, and the amount of layouts that I've completed this year has just blown my mind. But that also means that there are going to be a couple of years where I need to figure out which years I need to add 3 albums as opposed to 2. So I do have some things in mind and things that I have planned for the new year. I need to sit down and write out my goals for 2025. And I'll probably create a post in my Facebook group about what your goals are going to be, because I would love to hear that. There's some things that I want to definitely work on in 2025. I will be continuing the Dark Side Challenge with Nicole. So far, I've been working through 2019, and I think in 2025, I might change it up a little bit. I think that I want to focus more on my Disney albums because I feel like those albums are really lacking. And so I want to figure out how I need to incorporate that and get more layouts completed. You guys seem to really love my Disney layouts this month. And I do have a plan, or a plot, I think, if you watch Friends, where I have started to really think about the next set of 30 days of sketches or a month full of sketches. I will be working with Veronica in the spring over at the Scrap Now, Sleep Later Facebook group. She's going to do another set of a month of sketches. So I will be working with her in the springtime and getting those done. And I was really thinking about doing a full month of Disney layouts during the springtime and working through whatever sketches she comes up with and working with my Disney layouts, because there are so many layouts that I need to get done. I have so many ideas that I want to document. I feel like I have rambled this entire video so far, but there's just so many things that I've had on my mind, and I really haven't had an opportunity to talk to you guys. I know I talk to you over my Facebook group, and every once in a while I'll throw in a tidbit here and there, but I really do enjoy doing these videos for you. I had somebody comment about the fact that they could never do this. They could never get a huge stack of layouts that need to be put away. They just couldn't see themselves having that many layouts. And yes, I totally agree with the fact that sometimes the stack of layouts that accumulate in my room can be very overwhelming. However, when I look at the stack of layouts, my first thought is, okay, I need to get a video done for you guys so that I can ramble for, 15 minutes and talk about all the things that have been on my mind. So I'm okay with those piles stacking up so that I can have a video where I'm just putting layouts away and talking to you guys about things that are on my mind. So I hope that you guys enjoy these videos of me rambling as much as I enjoy giving you all the details about what's going on in my life. I was working on putting the layouts away at night. It was pretty late at night. When I finished putting away the layouts for my yearly album, I went to check my phone to see if I had enough storage, and my phone was like at 5%. So I thought I'll just go ahead and end it for the night, charge my phone overnight, and then the next day I can come in and finish my Disney layout. So this is the next day, and I made sure to wear another Halloween shirt, specifically a Disney one, since I was working on my Disney albums. When I started to put away the Disney layouts, I quickly realized that I'm gonna need additional albums. So right now I currently have 4 Disney albums, and 2 of them are red and 2 of them are black, and they alternate. So red, black, red, black. This last one, the one that I'm working on right now, I think spans from 2021 to 2024. And that's just simply because I wasn't doing a lot of layouts. But now that I have gotten back into scrapbooking and I'm starting to really get into the groove of doing my Disney layouts, part of the reason that I wasn't interested in doing my Disney layouts before was I had the bright idea to do all pocket pages for my Disney layouts, and I don't like pocket pages. I know that some people love them, and I love that for you, but I am not a fan of just an entire album of pocket pages. I love using flip flaps. I love using pocket pages as an insert in between a double page layout, but I don't like just straight pocket pages. And so I would dread doing my Disney layouts and working on them. And when I decided that I was just going to go back to double page layouts, yes, I'm going to have a ton of them. Yes, these albums are going to be huge, but Disney is a huge part of my life, and making my albums smaller simply because I have so many of them doesn't really make sense. So I will have to be headed back to the store, probably over to Hobby Lobby, to pick up an additional black and red album, because I really do think I'm going to need 2 additional albums. I'll probably end up picking up 4 albums, since I will probably end up needing 4 albums. Someone had commented on my Disney Firehouse layout about how I stack multiple flip flaps. And so I thought what I would do is just show you how I add my flip flaps down. I have 3 layouts that I'm adding flip flaps to. This first one here is my engine layout, and I'm going to have 4 flip flaps there. I pointed out the way that I do it, which is I take the bottom of the photo and I line it up with the bottom of the photo that is on the layout. I take off the white backing, and then once I get it lined up, I press down the adhesive part. And I just stack them one on top of each other. The very top one did not lay down flat, so I just pulled it up and laid it right back down on top of it. Usually you're able to do that like 1 time. I wouldn't recommend it more than that, because then it loses its stickiness. For my Tom Sawyer Island, I did have 2 flip flaps, but I did not have them overlapping each other. I knew that I could add them to 2 of the pictures on the layout. Very rarely do I add multiple flip flaps to one photo, but for that Firehouse one, it was a special event because I wanted to show Eli coming down the fire pole. And then the last layout that I'm going to add a flip flap to is my Tron layout with Eli. And again, showing you that I just line up the edge of the photo for this one, since my flip flap is going to open to the right, and then using that same technique. I originally thought I was going to have my flip flap coming upward, but once I got it down on the layout, I realized that I wanted it to flip down. So I just moved the photos around. And then this is the huge stack of layouts that do not have dates. So what I decided to do was pull out my phone with my Google Drive, and it has all the dates on it. I have my black ink pad, 2 roller date stamps, because the orange handled roller date stamp only goes to 2023, and I recently purchased the black one with the red top, and that one starts at 2024. So these are the ones that I use most often. I also pulled out this stamp set that is from scrapbook.com. It's just called Months and Years. And I use that when I am just wanting to put the year, like if I have a Halloween layout, or for that food one in the Disney, I just put the year 2024. Even though the photo has spanned it across multiple years, I'm just going to put it in my 2024 album. For this section of the video, that's all I'm doing is looking through either my Google Drive or my Google Sheets, finding the date, then using my roller date stamp to add my date to it. Sometimes I will add the date only once if it looks really nice. If it doesn't look that great, I will stamp it 2 additional times, so a total of 3 times. And it gives it that messy look, so it looks like I intended to not stamp it correctly. So after I got all of the dates on these layouts, I put them in order so that I could bring them back into my living room and add them to my albums. Over on the right hand side, I have this little pink folder that has a bunch of page protectors. I have had these page protectors for a while. They're not the best. I'm not a big fan of them, but I want to get them used up because I have them and there's no reason not to use them, even though they're not my favorites. And at this point, they're just page protectors. So I feel like if I can get these used up, then I can start with the page protectors that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. Whenever I'm at Hobby Lobby, which isn't very often, but when I am there, if they are having a sale on their Paper Studio products, I will pick up whatever page protectors they have in the store. Usually it's only like 2 boxes so that I have extra page protectors available to me, especially since I am scrapbooking a lot and getting lots and lots of layouts done. So I've had a couple of you ask me if I'm going to continue a video a day, and while I would love to continue bringing you content every single day, I do still have a life outside of scrapbooking, and I can't continue with that pace just simply because I would probably get burnout, and scrapbooking is something that I enjoy doing, so I definitely don't want to be burnt out on it. But also, there are other things going on in my life, and I'm super excited that for the month of October, as all of these videos were going up, I actually took a break and did not scrapbook this month, which is kind of surprising. But what I decided to do, and while I had that very hefty goal of getting everything completed in the month of September for these 30 days of sketches, was I decided to do a complete and entire room reset in the month of October, which I will tell you, Hurricane Milton coming through put a huge wrench in my plan, but I have finished. And so in the month of November, once a week, because I did divide it up into 4 videos, you guys are going to see the total transformation of my room. I am working on editing those videos now, and I have one more video that I need to film, which is the final end product of my room. And I will tell you that when I did finish it, which was about a week ago, I literally sat in my desk chair and just looked at my room for a good 10 minutes because it is an amazing room now. I love everything about it. I love everything that I changed. I loved every way that I organized it. And while this way that my room is currently set up may not work for everybody else, and I may have to change it a little bit over time, at this current moment, my room is absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So stay tuned for those videos coming in the month of November, as well as other videos, because you guys know that I'm not going to stop scrapbooking. I am not going to stop creating videos. And I just purchased Doodlebug Hey Pumpkin, which I can't wait to start playing with. I still have layouts from Happy Healing that I need to create that I am excited to get done, as well as I have the new Doodlebug Farmhouse and Christmas line coming, and I can't wait to play with those as well. All right, so I just rambled for basically 20 minutes, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layout inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.